Today, I want to talk about the #1 wealth killer in America right now. Now, we can all understand if you live beyond your means, you will not build long-term wealth. But too often, people mistakenly look to cut back on small purchase items, not realizing it's the big ticket items right in front of them that's hurting their wealth building. And in this case, it's your car payment. Now, I get it. Having a nice car can have its rewards. It can make you feel like you've made it. It can make you feel like a celebration of all your hard work. But I think if more people understood the numbers that I'm going to share today and the impact that your high car payment can have on your ability to reach financial independence, I'd like to think they'd think twice about making that payment. Auto debt has gone up over 86% in America. We now have over 1.6 trillion in auto debt. That is a crazy number. It's second only to mortgages, but it actually is higher than the student loan debt amount right now. Now, with mortgages, you at least have an asset tied to that in your home that can appreciate over time. And we can all debate the efficiency of student loans, but in theory, that loan will help you increase your earning potential over time. And for most people, their ability to earn an income is their wealth building tool. With an auto loan, you have none of those. You actually have the opposite. You have this trifecta wealth killer. You are generally borrowing money to buy an asset. That asset is expected to cost money each year to maintain, and that asset is expected to go down in value over time, almost a guarantee. I can't think of many things people put their money into that's this expensive and is pretty much a guarantee it's going to be worth less in the future. Right now in America, the average loan people take out on a new car is just over $40,000, and the average loan they take out to buy a used car is just over $26,000. The average new car payment currently is $738 a month, and that's not including the other costs, maintenance, fuel, etc. According to AAA, the average cost to own and operate a new car right now is $12,182 a year. When you compare these numbers to average incomes in the US of about $60,000 a year, this math simply does not work. Even more surprising is the amount of people that have over $1,000 a month in car payments. A nod of congratulations to Wyoming and Texas here for having a huge amount of residents, almost 30% in Wyoming, have over $1,000 a month in car payments. These payments can hurt your wealth because your income is your #1 wealth building tool. How you choose to invest, save, and spend your income today will determine your future lifestyle. And to put that money that you work so hard for into a car payment, of which that car is going to go down in value over time with depreciation, is going to crush your ability to build wealth. Cars depreciate and go down in value much faster than people actually realize. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, it will depreciate about 10% instantly. You just lit that money on fire. Over 5 years, car depreciation is about 60%. And this isn't a brand specific thing. When you look through across all the brands, sure, some do hold value a little bit better than others, but all brands depreciate basically on this same exact cadence. If you look at Mercedes, Audi, BMW, Volvo, Volkswagen, Ford, you'll see nearly identical depreciation curves. Now, it's hard to do compound math in our head and understand how these figures can multiply over the long term, but I want to share with you a little overview of what saving on a car payment could actually equal when it comes to wealth building or retirement income. If you were to be able to cut your car payment by about $250 a month and save and invest that money, and if you think over a long-term horizon, let's say 40 years, if that earns about 7%, that will equal about $600,000 more you will have in 40 years if you just saved and invested that money. That could create about $2,500 of monthly income more for you in retirement by just saving that and not having that on your car payment. And that's just saving $250 a month. If you take that average car payment of just under $740 a month and you saved half that, you were able to cut that in half and keep your payment to about $370 a month, and you did the same thing, you saved and invested that over about 40 years, that's more like $900,000 of more wealth you will have over the long term. Now, I get it. Most people are going to need a car unless you live in a few select cities. We are not built for public transportation, and a car is important. You want to have one that's reliable, that's safe, that makes you feel good. I totally get it. But you need to really look at these numbers to understand, is your car payment above what you really should be affording? And how is it impacting your future? So, since having a car is basically essential, let's talk about a few things you can do to make sure it doesn't hurt your wealth. One option, buy a cheaper car. I don't think there's any further explanation needed on that point. You could also look at saving up cash to be able to afford this car buying it all cash and not actually have that interest payment. Interest right now on most new cars for good credit is going to be about 4.5% to 7% interest you're paying. And if you look at lower credit scores, you could have double-digit interest you're paying. That is the stuff right there that will kill your wealth. Another option is to buy a used car. There is no denying that depreciation impacts a newer car more. Remember, that moment you drive it off that lot, it's going to depreciate about 10%. If you look on that depreciation curve, generally the best time to buy a car that we see is around a 4-year-old to a 5-year-old car. This way, about 60% of the car has already depreciated in value, but you're still getting a newer car. You still have things that might have the modern functionality of a car, more reliable, safer, better warranties still. So I think that 4 to 5 year used car range is oftentimes the optimal time frame to buy a car. Also, you want to keep your cars longer, right? If you are trying to build wealth and you're looking at your finances, realizing that your car payment is taking up 20% of your income or something, getting pretty high, you want to take a look at holding your cars longer. The average loan on a car is about 5 to 6 years right now. But the unfortunate thing with cars is as soon as that debt is paid off, the trend we see is that people go and get a whole new debt, get a whole new car. Cars can last a lot longer than people realize. And again, if you're somebody that wants to aggressively start saving and change your financial future, looking at that car and how long you keep it is huge. The average time Americans hold a car right now is 8 years. When you look at the average loan term of about 5 to 6 years, as soon as that car's paid off, you only have a couple of years without a payment, then we get a whole new debt. This is generally the only debt that Americans cycle this way of. We just keep getting a new car and a new car. And that brings us to another great point, is just don't play the status game. We all get how cars can be, right? They do make us feel a little bit more successful, like we've made it. It's that simple, but just understand what's best for you. Are you looking for this car to be a functional car, work well for you or for your family? Are you getting this car to try and impress somebody else that you really deep down don't care about? Take a moment, take a look at your finances, figure out if this car makes sense. I think a great starting point is usually looking at something like 10% of your income. I wouldn't want to see car payments higher than 10% of somebody's income, but this changes over time. Everybody's different on truly the needs of the car. But if you are trying to change your finances and get on the best path possible, take a look at that car payment. That's the first place I would check out. Thanks for watching this video. I'm Peter Campbell, the lead advisor at Bull Oak. We're an independent financial planning firm based in San Diego. If you have any questions or you want to learn more about how we work with our clients, check us out at bulloak.com. Thanks.